Hello and welcome. I'm Daniel.
And I'm Andrew. We're two brothers. And this is the Daniel and Andrew Show,
where we give our opinions about movies and TV that we've been watching lately. So, Andrew, how you doing today?
I'm good. How about you?
Doing all right. I'm a little tired. Worked a long shift yesterday. I worked like 10 hours, and you're usually just on your feet the whole time. So, yeah. But made some money, so that's always good. Did you do anything fun this week?
No, not as exciting as last weekend. Well, I usually see the movie the day of, so I saw the movie today. And I do have some stories about that. I'll get to that later. But,
oh, yeah? Okay.
As far as the week went, nothing to mention.
Did you see any other movies? I didn't watch any. I watched one other thing, but my week wasn't particularly interesting. Nothing that I can think of that stands out in my mind. So
I'm officially caught up with Sheldon now.
Oh yeah, nice.
So that took forever. I don't know. How far are you, like, completely caught up to, like, the latest episode? Or
I don't think I'm caught up to the latest episode. Are you caught up to the latest episode?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
I might be one or two behind.
Okay. I mean, that's fine.
But it's on Paramount, I think. The current seasons.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good show. So you must have.
I like the show. I actually think it's gotten better in this most recent, because I don't know. It gets, like, sitcoms are good, but things get stale if you just do the same thing, to the end of time.
Yeah, I think this one is kind of different because it's not like.
Plus, he's growing up. Like, you can't do the, cute kid. I'm a smart, cute kid anymore, because he's really not cute anymore.
Yeah, he's like a teenager.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying, like, you can't do it anymore. So they had to do something, right?
Yeah, exactly. And the COVID thing, so he's like much older because there was definitely a pause. Like,
yeah, there was a pause. Yeah,
yeah. You see him in the intro, and he's like small, and then like the show, he's like much bigger now. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, that's a fun show. I like that show. Yeah. Well, like, I know a little bit about, like, the Big Bang Theory, so, like, I know what happens to some of the people, so, like...
Sam, I don't know if I should spoil things, but, I mean, the father is supposed to die at some point, right?
Indeed.
Spoiling it.
Yeah. Indeed. So, yeah, I don't know if that's going to happen in the show.
But from what I've seen, like, one particular episode where it was like they're supposed to still be teenagers when he goes. So,
yeah.
And according to the timeline. So
anyway.
So it's not really a spoiler if you've watched Big Bang Theory. It's discussed. So
anyway, we'll get off of that. It's a good show. I'm glad you like it. I saw a movie. I saw it at my theater, and it's Guy Ritchie's newest movie. It's called Operation Fortune. We were actually going to talk about it on the podcast, but in January when it was coming out, but they lost.
They moved it or something.
American distribution. They lost American distribution, and there was apparently at one point there's these guys that are kind of Eastern European terrorist guys, and apparently they were Ukrainian originally, so they kind of like Top Gun Mavericked it, where they just kind of scrub all the references to what nationality they are.
They are. Okay.
Yeah, but they're supposed to be like vaguely Russian-ish, So yeah, but that was a fun movie. It was like The Gentleman Light. It's not as gritty, but it was still fun. And Hugh Grant's in it, and Jason Statham being Jason Statham. It's a fun movie. I would give that a 7.5, something like that.
Okay.
That's definitely one that you can have a group of friends and go and have fun, or like a date, just like a fun movie. And that's definitely one you don't have to see it in theaters either, but
yeah,
I think it's fun either way. Just have a good time.
I do have one other thing before we continue on. This will be the next show that I start watching. It's on HBO, and I'm not keeping the service forever. I'm watching Last of Us.
Ah, okay.
And I've only watched the first episode, so it's like a first impressions. It's actually pretty good. It's literally the game.
Yeah.
Like, it's almost like watching the cutscenes with live action. It's really weird how close.
Yeah, it doesn't
depicted.
It doesn't surprise me that people like it if they loved the game so much, and if the game had a good story, then why wouldn't it be a good TV show?
Exactly. It's like why even deviate from that when you have? Yeah. It's like you have gold in the ground. Just dig it up. Don't pee on it. Like, come on.
I don't know if that's quite the same analogy.
That's a right analogy. Or maybe digging right next to it.
Just you have the recipes to make a good cake, and then you, instead of using the recipe, you just like go, I'll wing it. I have all the ingredients.
Yeah, sure, fine. It's PG, I guess.
Well, I just think it's funny. Pee on it. All right. Cool. I'm glad you like the first episode.
This one I just completely remembered right off the top of my head just now. It's not really rumors. There's been lots of like leaks of the Fallout set.
Oh.
Like tons and tons, actually.
It's going to be a TV show based on the game.
Yeah, based on the game.
It's going to be... what is the word? Post-apocalyptic.
Yeah. It's going to be on the west side. We've seen NCR flags.
No, it's the Mojave for sure.
Yeah, it's definitely the Mojave.
Yeah.
But what's weird is they've completely recreated the Red Rocket in Fallout 4, the Red Rocket gas station. Like I've seen the complete set. I don't know if it leaked or if they purposely put it out so it's Fallout 4, but that's kind of a distance away from. So I'm not sure what they're doing exactly.
I think it's a gas station, so they can just say that's a nationwide gas station.
But it even has the fans were saying it even has the exact same gas prices as in the game.
Oh,
and they spotted a dog that looks very much like the dog in Fallout 4.
Yeah.
On the set.
It looks like they're just going to mix the best parts of the games, it looks like.
Yeah. Well, the good thing is, the fact that they're going to such lengths to make it look exactly, it looks like they're going to go really close to the game, which is what you want, right?
That's good.
You don't want them to do their own stuff.
I was down for that whatever iteration they want to do, they can mix it all together. I don't care as long as it's good. I don't. I don't care.
I'm
Walton Goggins is going to be in it.
Kind of getting my hopes up for the show, which might be kind of bad. I kind of wish I didn't see this news, but
yeah, well, Walton Goggins is going to be in it, and he might be a ghoul, which is like he's like the perfect person to play a ghoul, to be honest. Who's like a zombie mummy kind of person. That's in that game. Yeah, that's a really fun game, and as long as it's decent, the story is decent, and it's fun. It has to be a fun show. If it's like too gritty and too much of a downer, I don't think it's going to be.
I think honestly it could work both ways, but yes, the Fallout generally has
I would say
a uplifting humor to it.
They need to do a Western. That's why I think they're doing it in the West. So if they do like a gritty Western,
I think it should be like, I guess I could see why they would kind of take it in a Western direction.
I think it's better.
It's supposed to be a wasteland
than super like sci-fi-y. I think like Westworld-y type thing would probably work best. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
We have very
Fallout
little information
very
about
sci-fi, it. But very old schooly at the same. It's a weird property, so it's interesting to see which way they will end up taking this.
We also this is all just like little tiny things. So I'll wait for a trailer before we give our full, breakdown. Yeah, but I'm interested. I'm interested. Yeah. Period.
My interest has definitely been piqued after seeing what we've saw. So
gotcha. I gotta check those out later. So did you watch any trailers? There's a couple trailers this week.
Yeah, I watched the Disney stuff. I'm blanking on it.
Peter Pan and Wendy and Haunted Mansion.
Yeah.
And
they're just scraping the bottom of the barrel at this point.
Either of those? Anything?
Well, Peter Pan actually makes sense to be live action because it's like, not lions.
Yeah.
But, and you can make a person smaller pretty easily on film. Like for Tinkerbell is what I'm.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah. Yeah.
And you could have like a crocodile, CG crocodile or something.
Yeah. Peter Pan's been done live action many times.
Yeah. So it kind of like why they waited so long to make this one is, I don't know. I don't know why they waited so long.
I guess they haven't done really any. Disney itself has not done any like Peter Pan. I don't know if Hook is Disney movie.
I mean, Disney's been doing the live action remakes for
this movie has been in development for a long time. Like I remember them talking about this movie, and I'm like, why is this taking so long? Like this movie can't be that hard to be made. I thought it looked okay. It didn't blow me away or anything. And
I think it looked worse than Haunted Mansion. I don't think Haunted Mansion looked that good.
I'm not saying this looked amazing. I'm just saying it looked fine. Like it didn't offend me or anything. Like
I'm not saying it offended me. I'm just saying it looks very run of the mill average, and that ain't gonna get people in the theaters. So.
It's not in theaters. It's coming on Disney Plus. So
oh man, they're just sending this off to die. Then
yep. Mm-hmm.
Another Disenchanted.
Which was stupid because Disenchanted was better than that. Anyway.
I'm just saying they sent it off to die by doing that.
This one is not being sent off to die. Haunted Mansion is not being sent off to die. That will be in theaters. They actually moved that up.
Okay.
And they moved that up, and that's where it's going where the Marvels was in the summer. So they must think Haunted Mansion might be something because
I'm saying I think Haunted Mansion looked better than Peter Pan.
Yeah, no.
Based off the trailer.
Yeah, I agree. That's not even a question.
But I don't think Haunted Mansion, like, if I was to give my review based off that trailer, of Haunted Mansion, I'm looking at 6.
Yeah.
Peter Pan, I was looking at like a 5.
Yeah. None of that surprises me in any way, shape, or form.
Okay.
I think Haunted Mansion piques my interest. The other one's doesn't. But
Plus, what are they calling? It's like, I don't know. Maybe this is just on the trailer I watched on YouTube. It's a teaser trailer. It was like 2 minutes long.
yeah, I don't know. You might have just watched a random one. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know what to tell you on that. Maybe it was a teaser.
I don't know. That's not a teaser. Just saying.
Well,
That's
was it one of those?
trailer.
Was it the actual trailer from like the actual company, or was it like some blah blah?
I would assume so.
One of those ones that adds like 30 seconds onto the end for their stupid channel.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. No, Walt Disney Studios. That's the one I watched. 1:43, and it says official teaser trailer.
Oh, then it was a teaser. Then 1:43. I don't think they showed that much, but they showed enough, and they actually have moments of the ride, like the guy playing the organ, and I haven't watched it recently, so I watched.
I don't know if they need that. I mean, I don't know.
Oh, the elongating room. They need that stuff. That's the part that nobody cares about this because they want to see this movie.
Pirates of the Caribbean was a pirates ride, but how much of that is in the ride?
That first movie.
Pirates.
They did add a few things from the ride. The dog. They're in the jail and they're trying to get the dog to come over with the keys. That's in the original ride where and the song "Yo Ho Yo Pirate's Life for Me."
A few things,
yeah.
But I mean, they completely made up their whole
Pirates of the Caribbean is something. There's a lot more you can mine from. Haunted Mansion is only that ride. It's not like Haunted Mansion is like a.
Okay, well. You got talented writers and stuff, like make a story. Don't just throw a bunch of this is in the ride, so it has to be here sort of thing.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying it is good to make allusions to the ride. If they just make another Eddie Murphy random crap movie, then yeah, it's worthless. That's it. That's all I'm saying.
Wonder if that movie made money. I have no idea.
I have no idea. I don't really care, to be honest. Before we get to our topic for this week, the Oscars are next week.
And that hasn't happened already?
No, it's next Sunday, so a week from today. And I thought it would be fun for me, and Andrew can jump in if he would like to jump in. I'm going to do only 3 awards, but if I was the Academy and I was picking my nominees, and I'm going to do 3 of them, which is going to be Best Actress, Best Actor, and Best Picture. 5 for each one. You can give your thoughts if you'd like, and you can jump in if you think that one should be there or not. Up to you.
Wait, so these are your 3 nominees that should be?
These are 5, so it's 5 for each one.
Okay.
And I'll say I'm definitely differ from the Academy. Okay, so I'll start with Best Actor. My 5 nominees for Best Actor, if I was the Academy, is Austin Butler for Elvis, Tom Hanks for A Man Called Otto, Bill Nighy for Living, Jeremy Pope for The Inspection, and Michael Ward for Empire of Light. I think there's only 2 of those 5 are nominated by the Academy, which is Bill Nighy and Austin Butler. And then you have who else is in the Academy Awards nominations? Brendan Fraser and for The Whale, which I'm not interested in at all.
I mean, I know it's been getting buzz, but I don't care.
He won the He won the SAG Awards. The SAG Awards happened.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that's usually a good precursor because the actors vote, obviously. Brendan Fraser, Austin Butler, Colin Farrell for The Banshees of Inisherin, and Paul Mescal for Aftersun. Those are the 5 nominees, the real nominees.
Okay, what's next? Who's the actress?
My actresses for Best Actress, Cate Blanchett for Tar, Michelle Yeoh for Everything Everywhere All at Once, Olivia Colman for Empire of Light, Amy Lou Wood for Living, and Viola Davis for The Woman King. That's my 5 nominations for Best Actress. I differ on 3 of them. The Academy has Andrea Riseborough for To Leslie, Michelle Williams for The Fabelmans, Cate Blanchett for Tar, Ana de Armas for Blonde, and Michelle Yeoh for Everything Everywhere All at Once. You saw The Woman King recently, right?
Yeah.
You think she would? You like that idea of her being nominated?
My opinion doesn't even matter to myself, so
okay. Well, she would be in my nominations if I was the Academy.
I can't really give out who should be nominated when I've only seen like 2 of the movies out of the list. It's not really fair for me to say she deserves it more than other people. I will say she gave a great performance in that movie. Plus, it looked like she had to athletically get into quite a lot of shape. I don't know if that factors into, if you get nominated or not, what you have to do to prepare for the role or whatnot, or if it's just simply based off of acting. I really have no idea.
Well, people have gotten kind of nominated for like their like transformations and stuff. Brendan Fraser, I think, gained weight and he's wearing a fat suit and stuff, and
yeah,
Christian Bale lost a ton of weight and he was like super thin and skinny, and people lauded him for just being skinny. Just being a crazy person, but so
yeah, I don't know. I can't say if she deserves to win. Sure, she did good enough to probably get nominated.
Yeah, well, she didn't get nominated in real life, but my Academy, she would have been nominated.
Oh, she didn't get nominated in one movie?
No, the real nominations is Andrea Riseborough, Michelle Williams, Cate Blanchett, Ana de Armas for Blonde, which is about Marilyn Monroe, and I heard that movie was really hard to watch. It's very dark and stuff, and Michelle Yeoh. Those are the 5.
I mean, those are usually the kinds of movies that get nominated. So,
yeah. All right. So, I did 5 for Best Picture, not 10 or 8 or whatever you. My 5 for Best Picture is Everything Everywhere All at Once, Avatar: The Way of Water, Living, Glass Onion, A Knives Out Mystery, and Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. Those are my 5.
Okay. Well, I guess we know why you don't make the list, I guess.
What are you talking about?
Bro, Black Panther and Knives Out. I don't know what you're smoking over there. Those are not
all 5
nominees.
I have 2 of the same nominees. My other 3 movies got at least a couple nominations for those movies. Screenplay or, something else, an acting role. So it's not out of the realm of possibility they would ever be nominated for Best Picture. So you can make fun of them as you want, but clearly
just those 2 in particular. The others, fine, I can see it.
Those were on short lists to be nominated for Best Picture, so they're not even
the short list of the 10 that they had already chosen before that.
The short list would be like, it's like 15 or 18
That's not a short list.
That
10
is
is already too much. I think we've already decided. So if it's behind the 10 that they've already chosen, I'd say that's pretty far down the list.
all right. Well, I haven't seen every one, but I can tell you one thing: the 5 that I picked are better than Elvis, 100%.
I probably agree with you. I probably would think Black Panther is better than Elvis.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that's not what the world thinks.
Anyway, this is my opinion. This is if I was the Academy. Obviously, nobody's asking me. You know, I'm not a voter of the Academy, but those were my picks. And I just thought that'd be a little fun. There wasn't too much news to talk about, you know. Anyway, what are we talking about this week?
Talking about Creed 3.
What were your overall impressions of this movie, Andrew?
Well, I haven't seen the first 2, but honestly, I feel like jumping in on the third one here shouldn't really, like, they either should recap you in some way. I was thinking about seeing a recap before. I still might see a recap after, honestly. But I feel like they should do a good job bridging whatever gap that needs to be bridged, right? So you can watch the movie. Not everyone's going to see every movie of everything, right?
Well, I told you a couple things before you watched it.
Yeah, honestly, I forgot what those things were.
Well.
Honestly, I don't think me jumping in on the third one really is going to hinder my experience.
I don't think it would either, especially because Rocky's not even in this one or anything. So
yeah, that's why I'm just saying, I'm just letting it out there so, you know, the audience up haven't seen the first 2.
Yeah.
I think we'll get into like the details of it but later. But I think overall this movie is a good experience. If you like sports movies and stuff, it's probably might be worth your time to see in the theater. I don't know, it depends how big. If you really like boxing, you probably already seen it. If you're not a boxing fan, I don't know. I might skip it if you don't like sports at all.
You saw it in IMAX?
Yes, I saw it in IMAX.
I thought it was good. In that IMAX, it feels like you're in the ring. I liked that.
I mean, it's cool. I feel like, I don't know, this is just me. The punching noises are just way too loud. It's like,
okay.
It's just so annoying, and it happens a lot.
Interesting.
Because they're boxing. That's just a nitpick from me. But
I don't know how it sounds. I don't watch boxing. Maybe it is loud like that. I don't know.
It's not that loud. That's like,
I have no idea.
It was so incredibly loud. Just that one noise. It
literally
was just irritating. It's a me thing. That's not going to affect other people, most likely. So
I really didn't even think about that. I think that's funny that like bothered you. I literally didn't even think about that. I was like, I don't know.
I'm assuming it's amplified by 1,000 since I'm seeing it in IMAX, but I'm just saying that it's a small downside for me. It's not going to, probably won't even bother somebody else.
Yeah, clearly. Okay. So, Michael B. Jordan, first time director.
On this movie?
This is his first directorial debut.
Okay.
What was that face?
That was a face. I can't see my face. I'm not going to explain the face.
Is that a good face, bad face?
It's a face.
It's a reaction.
I'll go into my thoughts of the movie.
No, just direct.
Are we still doing broad?
Yeah, it's broad. You didn't like how it. You didn't like the.
There are good moments and I think bad moments. I think overall the filming of the movie is great. Like the actual filming of it, but I have problems with plot things and stuff like that. As I usually do.
As you usually do. Yeah, you know, that always comes to a dramatic fight at the end with your big villain, and okay, you
want to do your overall feelings and get into it.
Yeah, so I really enjoyed this movie. I have seen the Creed movies. This might be my favorite. Um, okay, he made another face, and I guess he didn't like this movie as much. I thought he might like this movie, but maybe he didn't like it. I don't know. He's gonna probably bring up something stupid like some glass or something. So I thought Michael B. Jordan did a good job. I really, really like Jonathan Majors. This is his second movie in a couple weeks that I've seen of him, and he does a good job. He's a good actor. I'm ready for more of him in whatever. I like Tessa Thompson. She's good in a lot of things too, and I really like her in this role. She's always has a quiet, like power to her. She's like his, kind of his backbone or whatever. Not his backbone, support system. And I like that, not his backbone. But I don't know. I like her. I like the inclusion of the daughter. The daughter's older, and she did a good job. I like having different, kinds of people. She's deaf. The daughter is deaf and played by a deaf actress. I went and saw this in IMAX on Monday, and they were doing, it was like a special premiere screening where they had like the live interviews from the red carpet in Los Angeles, and then they would send it over to the theater. So I got some in-depth, interesting stuff about it before we watched the actual movie. So I liked it. I thought that was good. I thought this was a really good movie, actually. What was your experience watching the movie? You said something happened, or
yeah. I'll go into it in spoilers. Are we done giving our overview?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. My experience was not the greatest because some of the people in the theater itself, the guy next to me was literally yawning so loudly, like right next to me, like the entire movie. And like Laura was like looking to her side, like, what's going on down there? Because she was on the opposite side of me. And he's just yawning like crazy for some reason, being really loud and kind of obnoxious. And then I think he like actually fell asleep during the movie, like kind of leading up to the final fight. He was a weirdie. And then there was a lady in front of me who was literally, must have been like Michael B. Jordan's mom in real life or something. She was like literally clapping, and like when he goes down for like a count in the fight, she's like, "Oh no!" like so loudly, like she's like literally experiencing this, like it's like attached to her like childbirth. She can't control her emotions or something. Like it was very distracting. That lady is passable. The guy who was next to me was quite annoying.
You could have said all this non-spoilers, by the way, but okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't want to say it hindered my experience. He was just very annoying.
I bet it did, because when I saw Megan and I had kids running around being loud and annoying, it hindered my experience.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry that sucks, but maybe
it is what it is. I'm not upset about it. I just thought it was. It is funny to talk about after the fact. It was just annoying during the movie.
Yeah. That's funny because when I saw it, people were excited and like talking to the movie and stuff, and that enhanced my experience. I didn't have anyone.
It was just those two people. Everyone else was very quiet.
No, if I had that lady in the theater, I thought it would have been funny and it would have enhanced the experience. The guy next to me yawning would have been a problem, but
I don't know what that dude's deal was.
Because I had dudes behind me, like like when something happened, they're like, something good happened, they're like, oh heck yeah, and they're like, I challenge you to the fight, the final fight that everyone knows is coming. He's like, let's go. It's like, okay, dude, I got it. And like, there's a part.
This movie is not that hype. I don't know. What is about these movies
there
that
was
people
a
get
guy,
so hype about.
There was a guy next to my friend that I watched it with who literally cried. I heard him going,
of this movie?
Yeah.
This one?
Yeah.
My goodness. People be way too emotional or drinking way too much before they come see the movie.
I will say that definitely not seeing the other movies, you haven't seen their relationship build or anything, like him and his wife. And
yeah, I'm going to get into that for sure.
I think the second one they have, it ties it. He fights Drago's son from Rocky IV, and so they have it's like familial bonds, and then he's having his own kid, and then they're gonna see if she's gonna be deaf because Tessa Thompson's character is losing her hearing, so they're worried about that. I really liked the second one too. I like all these movies. I just think they're good stuff, and it has the boxing stuff that I know is coming, but also has, I think, a good story, and it tells a dynamic story, and it's not just kind of paint by numbers like some movies are.
I know this is a little bit, but
I would say the boxing, like obviously the fighting, and they doing the villain and the they're eventually going to fight is the same, but I think the rest of the stuff is not the same, if that makes sense. I don't know. Maybe I just haven't seen a lot of sports movies. Maybe I just, but I feel like I have. I don't know. For some reason, I like this. There's something about it that I like.
Okay.
Maybe
I'm not upset that you like the movie. I think I can see how people like this movie.
Maybe just because I like the actors. It feels, I don't know. And
let me give my opinion, and then we can go over it.
I don't have to see.
I don't want to feel like I'm just going to. I'm not going to blast your whole world open here or something.
No, Andrew, let's have a boxing match about this, but with our words. Anyway,
might as well.
Go ahead. Anything else? Let's just talk about stuff you did like, and then talk about stuff we do like.
They're good. There's lots of good, and then there's lots of things that annoy me. So the acting in this is great. Like Michael B. Jordan's good, and I think what's the other guy's name? I don't know why I'm blanking on it. You just probably said it.
Jonathan Majors.
Yeah, he's good. I like him in that, man. I think he's a good actor. I think Tessa was actually kind of weak for me.
They just didn't give her a lot to do.
They didn't give her a lot. And all the acting is very good. Even the mom, I kind of felt a little bit when she died. But I mean, she's dying. I should feel something, right?
Yeah, Phylicia Rashad, she's pretty good at everything too.
She was good at that. Was definite. I mean, that moment is meant to make you feel sad. It makes you feel sad.
Yeah.
The problem with this movie for me, this is very clearly not set up in previous movies. This is something that they set up in this movie, correct? The whole backstory of our villain, / not villain,
correct,
is set up in this movie.
Yeah,
which fine, that's obvious. I think they made the first one, and they're like, "Holy crap, this made a lot of money. We're gonna start making more." Right? This was not planned. This was not a planned trilogy. You can say that because it's not.
I'm not sure about that. They made like 800 Rocky movies, so I think they said,
but even the Rocky movie, like they're connected, but it's not like when they made the first Rocky, they knew what Rocky 4 was going to look like.
Agreed, but I guess if you're saying, they're going to have they didn't sit down and write down 3 movies. Correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm not saying that that's the wrong way of doing it or anything. I'm just saying I can tell that this character was not, because I haven't seen the other two movies, so I'm trying to.
I can almost
let everyone know.
guarantee you when the first movie, when they were planning it, they said, if this one does good, they'll make a sequel for sure.
The second one.
So
yeah. So they probably had ideas, and those ideas probably involved Sylvester Stallone.
Yeah.
Who's not in this movie at all.
Yep. It did, because those other two movies have him in it.
Yeah. And they clearly, if he's not in it, they're just completely breaking off from it. I don't know what happened with him or whatever. Doesn't matter to me. I'm just here to review this one movie.
No problem. Sounds good. I don't have to get into it.
So that means I'm judging it on what I'm seeing. And the plot of this movie is very, very forced. It is forced a lot. And I can see it, since I don't have any connection to the wife or anything like that from the previous movies, I think I'm gonna say rose tinted glasses here, because I think it's a little bit clearer for you and you already have an idea of what they are in your head and whatnot. But for me, it was not, the plot was very forced for me, is the biggest thing. Like, and there's some just like really weird things that are like, okay, I guess we're just rolling with that sort of thing.
Like,
we can go into detail. So he shows up, the villain, Majors shows up. He's like, I'm out of prison, only been out a week. And he's like, I want my title shot, yada, yada. You know, he's not saying you owe me, but he's basically saying you owe me, right? And apparently he's like some evil guy with some master plan. You don't know this at the time, but he's like, I respect you. You've know the ropes, yada, yada. Help me get there and I'll prove myself, sort of thing. And I like that character. I like him. And then after the fight, it's like switch flip. I'm total bad guy now. After the fight, he goes and talks to him, and he's like with like a huge group of people, and they have a gun for some reason, and he's like,
"Okay, did you go to the bathroom at all here?"
No, I did not go to the bathroom.
There's no. Okay. Did you miss things? Were you not paying attention?
I know he is a criminal. Obviously, he went to jail.
Okay,
but when they're showing him, like, before that, like when he comes out of jail and is talking to Michael B. Jordan, and he's like, I want my title shot. They're showing him alone, like in his bathroom, you know, prepping himself, trying to get himself ready and stuff all by himself and be worthy for this title shot, right? And then it's almost out of nowhere. He's just like some gang member for this one scene, and then it's never shown again. So that one scene bothered me. It just seemed really out of the blue.
I think, well, first of all,
and he's like, oh yeah, and his little bad guy, I planned that so I hurt his wrist so he wouldn't be able to compete or something. And the mom had the picture or whatever, even though you knew she withheld the notes from you, because he had already said they sent them to his mom, so they didn't just like disappear. But when she brings it up to him, it's kind of like a surprise to him, like, oh, you had these the whole time. She's like, look at this picture that conveniently has this guy.
He said that I wrote you a couple times, and then he was like, well, I never.
He didn't get him. He says specifically,
I know.
He sent him to your mom.
I know.
For whatever reason, he doesn't put it together.
I think,
apparently.
No. I think he goes, oh, well, the mom is trying, I think you can just say, oh, well, the mom.
He knew.
Yeah, the mom doesn't want me to associate with that person, so I'm going to withhold it. And then, so it's like, okay, whatever.
Yeah, and then he gets upset at the mom for 5 seconds, and then 5 seconds later, she has another stroke and then passes away. And then very quickly, they wrap that up in a very quick scene, and he's sad. It's just meant to make you feel sad.
Yeah, I wouldn't I wouldn't say that it's not just there to do your emotions, because that's clearly what it's there for. I think
I don't really have that much of a problem with that. It's the switch flipping of the villain that really, really bothers me.
The thing about it is that he's presenting a good guy, but he's really secretly working to just get a fight and to be the champion. That's the point. So when he is assuming that
he's a good guy and deserves the shot, and then
yeah,
turns out he does it, and he beats like the living crap out of this other guy, right? And those people, like the mom's like, should we trust Creed, yada yada, and they're like, of course, he has our back, he's been here the whole time, yada yada yada. And then he basically fights dirty on purpose, knocks the dude out, and it's like, oh, he's in the hospital, so it seems like he's very critically injured or something, right?
Yeah.
And then they show him at the final fight, but they say nothing. He's just like perfectly fine or something at that fight.
I would say, okay, all right.
Which is another thing that bothered me.
Well, they said he was stable, and then the fight happens not immediately after, so he would have healed by then. I think
I'd say pretty quickly. I'd say like 2 weeks. People don't heal that fast. I'm just saying, if he's critically injured.
Well, you wouldn't. I don't know.
I get it. The timeline's funky. I'm not blaming. I get maybe a month past.
Jonathan Majors goes down just as hard as that guy does when Jonathan Majors fights him. And Jonathan Majors, he's talking to him, yada, yada, yada.
So. No, he gets up after the 10 count and walks out of the ring. The other guy don't walk out of the ring. He's knocked out.
Okay.
They're stretchering him out.
I understand, but I don't know. That doesn't bother me. Okay, so I will say, yes, title shots don't work like that. In anything,
shots don't work that. Yeah,
even in fake wrestling, that doesn't even happen.
I get that.
So
I get that.
I will say
so
that.
What that forces the plot, though. That's what I'm saying.
No,
all these little things are stacking up to force this plot.
That I don't love. The anything having to do with like title shots randomly and replacements, like that would not happen. There would be other people that would have filled in.
Fine, forgivable.
Okay.
Fine. And then we lead into the end of the movie, the final fight, where he's, full on, he's moved into bad guy mode because he's been pretending to be a good guy or whatever. Creed beats him, and then we get one final scene where they're just like, you were a kid, I get it. And they basically go, and the other guy goes, yeah, I agree, you were a kid too, ditto. End of the movie. That was a horrible resolution.
I think that he's in his mind, he thinks that he is not deserving, and he thinks that he was a better fighter than him, and that he's just coasting when he doing what he should have been doing. So I think
so he's proving to him that he could actually fight.
Yes, I think he did it the honorable way. He challenged him. He won fair and square. He didn't cheat, and I think he goes, okay, well, this guy is deserving. He beat me, and I'm better than anybody, or whatever.
That's fine. It was not. The way it was done here at this last scene was not good enough.
Just like any other sports movie, at the end,
there's not much at the end. I get that.
At the end, there's a dick guy who's good at the sport, and then the other person, he's like, you're not deserving. I'm a dick guy, and I think you're not deserving. And then that guy beats him, and then he goes, you know what? You're okay.
The problem is, if he was just a dick guy from the beginning and he just earned his way to the title and didn't pretend to be a good guy or whatever, it wouldn't have bothered me so much.
I think the point is that he's doing it underhandedly, and he's
scummily. Yeah, I get it, but I don't like it.
It's
very forced narrative.
He's not a villain if he just does all the right things and earns his spot, and then wins the title. Why is that? He's not a villain then. Then he's a hero. Then he's just
He doesn't
underdog story.
He's not even a villain in the end. So why make him a villain at all? Why make him a villain for 5 minutes of the movie and then flip the switch?
Well, the thing is that he's...
You can have two guys just battling, trying to win the title. It's a boxing movie. You don't need a villain.
That's not how it works, clearly, in these movies.
Well, I'm here critiquing it, and I'm saying it wasn't. I don't think it was necessary. I don't think it enhanced the movie at all.
Yeah. I don't know.
And then they have like this weird, that one TV call or whatever, where he's on like that.
Yeah.
A real person show.
Stephen A, yeah.
And then he just like calls on his cell phone. He's like, "Hey, Michael B. Jordan's being a wussy.
Yeah.
He won't fight me. Oh, well, it's on. Let me remove my glasses or whatever. Time to fight."
Well, first of all, he did that on purpose so he would challenge him so he could do it. He's goading him in. It's all part of his plan, Andrew. I
all part of the plan.
I get that you don't like the mechanism for the plot moving along, but
yes, I know that was my biggest beef with it.
Yeah. Okay. So
long as you understand that part.
I understand you don't like plot conveniences, but I don't know.
It's not even plot conveniences.
That is a plot. All of them are plot conveniences that you're complaining about. Because he has to be a champion.
On top of it, he's already retired, and the other guy's older than him, and obviously, yeah, he needs a shot or whatever. But then you got to pull Creed out of retirement. It feels like if this movie in the Creed timeline had happened earlier in Creed's career or something, it would have made more sense for this type of plot. But obviously, you can't roll back the time on Creed 1 and Creed 2. I'm just saying this movie was made because Creed's been making a lot of money, right? And they need another film. And for whatever reason, Sylvester didn't like the script or something, maybe. I don't know what happened with that.
Okay, so do you want to get into it or not want to get into it with Stallone? Because we can.
Do you know what happened?
Yes, I know what happened.
I don't know what happened.
So when Stallone was making Rocky, the first one, he wrote the script and he went to Henry Winkler, the Fonz, because Henry Winkler's father was a producer. So Henry Winkler pulled some strings to get to have his dad make Rocky. That's why the producers of Rocky are Sylvester Stallone and Irwin, I think that's his name, Winkler. So
they didn't want him to do it.
He sold the script to make the movie because he wanted to star in the movie, and the studio was like, "No, we want a name," and he's like, "No, I wrote it. I want to be in it. I want to be the star." So
we're saying Sly wanted to be the star.
Correct. Okay. So the Fonz's dad to spot the script back from the studio that they sold it to. So Stallone had no rights over the character.
Okay.
So, but they made Rocky. It won Best Picture. It was a huge success, and Stallone has a career because of that movie. But because he's a big baby and he's made the deal that he made, he's now mad that he doesn't have the rights anymore for Rocky. So,
but wasn't he in the other two Creeds?
Correct.
Or is it
correct?
Did this just happen?
You could not talk about Creed with if they made Creed 1 and then never talked about Stallone at all. Rocky, they'd be like, "Where's Rocky? Why aren't they talking about Rocky?" So they made the movie. Stallone doesn't make any money off of it because he doesn't own the rights. So Stallone goes.
So he's just whining and didn't want it.
He wants more money. He wants money.
Okay, I got you.
He wants money, and they went no.
Okay.
So he's not involved.
I get it. I'm not gonna say it hurt or helped the film whether he was in or not because I didn't see the first two, but I can kind of see that I can see that they had to work around it, and that's why it's just this random character from way back in his past or whatever, and that's what forces the storyline.
They do that. That's what they do in the Rocky movies, where they just get like some random guy, and then it's like, okay, he's the villain.
That's fine. What if it's a Hollywood trope? Fine, whatever. But I did not like it.
I wouldn't call it a Hollywood trope. I would call it a Rocky trope. And
whatever.
So Rocky is like his mentor in the first two movies, and in that last movie they kind of finished Rocky's story. They kind of nicely wrapped it up. So in this one, they didn't have to have him in there, and Stallone is a baby and wants more money, and they said, "No, good luck, bye-bye. We don't need you," which they don't.
Okay. Well, I think this movie would have been better with Rocky. That's my personal.
Okay. Well, you haven't even seen any of the other movies.
I've seen Rocky ones. I have not seen Creed 1 and 2, but I feel like the narrative is it's just jarring how much it's forced.
Stallone did get nominated for supporting actor for the first Creed. That was like, they're like
I feel like if I watched Creed 1, I probably would have liked Creed 1 a lot more than I like this movie. I'm sure.
I agree.
100%.
I will say, watching the other movies to have a good backstory about a third movie is always good, but you don't want to do that.
Yeah, but it's not even necessary to watch this movie because it barely has reason. He's retired. All he is a retired champion. So what you don't need to see the first two to understand this one. That's my point.
Well, yeah, I understand.
I don't think the plot was good. I thought they acted out the plot great. They were great actors.
I will say that if you have a backstory that enriches, obviously not Jonathan Majors, because Jonathan Majors is a new person, but if you have, it enriches the experience if you have backstory for the characters. Why are these people together? They had a daughter. Yeah. I don't know when they had a daughter. Oh, she's deaf. I didn't know that, but I know that now.
None of that bothered me. It was barely in the movie.
But it helps.
The plot is them two.
I would say if you think the plot is weak, but the other characters and the character interaction and the good character relationships would overshadow how you feel about the plot, but you don't have that experience. So you're just going, I don't like the plot, the end.
Well, it wasn't a good plot.
All right.
And
well, that's
not the other parts of the movie, which is basically just Tessa and the mom.
Mm-hmm.
Am I missing anyone else? I mean, the daughter's there just to look cute, and that's it.
And then
and have little punchy.
And there's moments. Like his coach guy,
who's just like, I don't want you to do this, and then he does it anyway.
Yep.
Okay. So my biggest problem with Tessa is the same problem I have with the overall narrative. The resolution of that storyline goes absolutely nowhere. She's having this problem with her singing and her hearing's going out or whatever, and she's sad, but she's okay with someone else singing her song or whatever. And then it kind of just ends there. They're still talking about it, and there's no resolution at the end of this movie that she's okay.
I think she's saying that she's making sacrifices, and you should make sacrifices too. That's what Dane brings up to her, and then I think she's reserved in the fact that she has more important things than just living her pop star life there. As she says, there's more important things like being a mom and a wife. And
I understand that she was getting to that point. I feel like it's cut halfway for the final fight and whatever, and it's never actually resolved by the end of the film.
Okay, well, there's always time for a Rocky 4 or a Creed 4, right?
I guess. I'm sure the movie's going to do well. The movie's going to do well. It has the names to do well.
So anything you liked? Because we did talk.
I mean, the boxing's great. Like the fighting, you can't really make a boxing movie look more appealing than this.
Yeah.
That's just how it is. It's filmed great. It's very clear. The whole audience disappearing thing was pretty cool. I like that it makes it just with them final fight sort of way. Even though I thought the jail cell appearing in the thing was kind of stupid.
That was corny.
But yeah, it was corny. If that scene with just without the jail cell and that part was there, that would have been fine.
Michael B. Jordan is a big fan of anime, and he said that influenced his directing style, and he filmed that like he thinks an anime fight would be like kind of choreographed, no audience, and it's like
it's definitely not like the amount of like punches to the face and stuff that like it doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
he's comboing. So what is this, a fighting game? No, this is
it's
obviously movie eyes.
It is a movie.
I get it. I get that. And I'm not complaining about it. I'm saying that was the best part of the movie. I'm saying that was the best part.
Two of the commentators are former wrestling announcers, which I think is funny.
Nobody cares.
I know nobody cares, but I might be the only one that notices, but I think it's hilarious. Anyway,
you're definitely probably.
I like the fight scenes. For some reason, the boxing scenes get me going. I think they're fun. And I don't know.
I think the final one was a bit long, but the other ones are good.
Yeah, I'm in for them. I don't know. For some reason, this works for me. I don't know why, because most movies like this, I would be like, good night, sleep, nighty night time, because like, football movies or whatever, I just, I don't care. Or whatever. Yeah. Good movie. I like this movie. I would say see it in theaters if you see it in a good screen and good sound and everything, so you feel like you're in the ring boxing. Yeah, I would say see it. I would give it an 8.
Okay. I mean, my opinion on movie theaters. I guess it makes you feel more in the ring. I found it annoying. It's just a boxing movie.
I would also recommend maybe not seeing the movie the day of. So if you have a bad experience with people by you, you can leave and be like, I'll come back a different day and watch it and not have people bothering you.
You're crazy if you think I'm going to leave the theater and come back and see it a second time. You're crazy. I would never do that.
Not see it a second time. I'm just saying, like, if like 10 minutes in, this guy's like, oh, my life sucks.
It's just, that is what it is. That's my experience with the movie. It's really not affecting my review of the movie at all.
All right. So I think you would lose some of this if you just saw it at home. That's it. What's your rating?
I don't think you'd lose anything, but I think I'm going to give it a 6. I can see people going to 8s and 9s. I get it. The movie's just, I don't like boxing movies in general. And then with all these plot things that weigh it down. For me, obviously, I guess if you see the previous two, all of those don't matter, which is fine. I understand your point of view. It's going to be a 6 for me.
All righty. All right. Well, I guess that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Talked about a few things. Got our review for Creed 3. Andrew thought it was okay, and I liked it. Good movie. Go check it out or not, I guess.
Maybe I don't think this movie really appeals to people that aren't sports fans.
I'm not a sports fan.
Yeah, but you've seen the first two, and you don't say you're not a sports fan when you like wrestling.
I do like. Maybe I like it because there's like entrances and stuff, and like they're in front of a crowd and the crowd's cheering, and I like seeing it in a theater with people that are into it. I don't know. Maybe it's just part of the experience. I guess maybe it's like going to a boxing match and people are really into it, But
or if you like shirtless Michael B. Jordan, this movie's probably for you.
There's a lot of that, a lot of shirtless men. There was definitely women in the audience going, he's fine. I heard that.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I get it. I think people will like the movie, but I guess it's just not for me.
All right.
All right. Well, we'll see you guys on the next one.
See you later.